Alright boys, how is all doing?
Yeah, good man.
All
Good.
Good. Welcome back to This Is My Story podcast, your unofficial Hearts podcast. Wow, what a bouncing intro this is going to be, innit? Every week we want to be positive, we want to enjoy ourselves, and then we watch Hearts, and it sucks the life out of us. As always, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. If you've been watching us on the YouTube and all that sort of stuff, we'll dive into sort of content and where we're hoping to go with the visual and the audio podcast soon. But first, we'll introduce the boysies. Ando, how's your week been?
Well, I'm going to temper your bad mood with a bit of enthusiasm and say that I've been absolutely buzzing for this today. Only because I knew I was on away days duties, or whatever it's called now. And I was having a look through my phone for all the memorabilia concerned for this week's away day. And it got me right in a good mood. So, I'm buzzing. Glad to be here.
Good. Don't worry, Hearts will suck that out of you. Don't worry. Don't worry.
No doubt.
Don't worry. Tam, how's your week been?
Aye, alright. I was worried. I was trying to be positive after last week when you slagged me for having no plans. So I've also done nothing this week. Carry on.
Good. It's a sign of life in lockdown, isn't it? There is nothing to do. Kev, how's your week?
Aye. I'm still crabbit as it was on Saturday night. Thanks very much to Heart of Midlothian Football Club for putting me in a bad mood. But tonight is Tuesday night. We will sail down into kick-off on Friday quite quickly now. Magic.
Aye. And I'm glad to see that you're not grounded after missing your tea time.
Well.
For the people that didn't see it on YouTube, the last 10 minutes of the call is just Kev's missus going, Kev, your dinner! Get your fucking dinner!
If we had a dog, the dog would have been eating it.
Shanks, how's your week been?
Not bad, mate. Aye, just good wee weekend. Caught up with a few boys, got some shit done, washed the motor. Hearts are shite. That's it.
Aye, as it is. And as you'll have seen on YouTube, we've got a very special guest, and by the looks of it, lockdown has hit him really hard. Ji-Sung Park, thanks for joining us. It's great to have you on the pod. How have you found it in lockdown?
I think you've picked the wrong country, but that's fine. This is my wee South Korea number. I'm very pleased with. I'm doing alright, mate.
What players have we got for South Korea that we can name? Do we know any?
Song Kyung-min.
Right, let's go with him.
Tottenham.
Thanks a lot, son's crying.
There you go.
There you go.
I know it's been alright, mate. Not too bad. As I said to you on Saturday, I'm going to try and stay positive. I'm going to try and be in Ando's camp. Stay really positive, really happy, cheery until we get pumped on Friday, and then I'll be miserable again.
And you got the absolute horrendous news that no teacher wants to hear is that schools are actually going to go back. You have to do your job. You must be absolutely livid. You actually have to go to a school and teach somebody. So
the thought of leaving the house is actually really surprisingly warming. I'm looking forward to it.
Warming like you've just pissed yourself.
Yeah, we'll get into pissing ourselves later.
I think Tam's looking forward to leaving the house as well. So for anybody watching on YouTube, Tam, if you move your fingers away from your mouth, looks like he's wearing lipstick today, doesn't it? It's like, look at his big red rosy lips.
I've just got red lips, man.
You on a promise tonight, sunshine?
Well, no,
it's my makeup light that's on. You'll get my face in HD.
We've all invested in ring lights now that we're on YouTube and we're MUA, so we've all been dolled up. We've all been dolled up because we got slaughtered on Facebook for being ugly. YouTube.
What does MUA mean?
Makeup artist or something, doesn't it?
Ah, right, okay. Let's see, I'm definitely not hip enough to know what all these things mean. You're definitely the man for that, so thanks for educating me.
That's fine. You don't get to look this good to know what an MUA is. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about that. As always, you can catch us on social media. You can get us on Twitter at This My Story Pod. You can get in contact with us via the website, which is admin at This My Story Pod. Oh, not at thismystory.uk. We've only had it for about 900 weeks, so I'll get it right one time. And then Instagram, which is This Is My Story 1874. Cool. Like we said, so for the people that don't know, Saturday we trialled, well, we wanted to do it positively and have a better game to do it on, but we're going to try and commit to doing live reactions to Hearts games as and when we can. So Saturday, me, Kev and Ando jumped on after Morton, it was going to be just 20 minutes. And then Hearts happened, and it was an hour and 20 minutes. We were all supposed to do it straight after the game, but the eagle-eyed viewers will have seen that it was nearly a whole hour after the game, and that was because we were all absolutely furious, raging. So we took an hour to calm down. But hopefully Friday night we'll do the same for after Cali Thistle, and hopefully it is brief and we can all talk about how good Hearts are. You can catch us on YouTube. Search This Is My Story podcast. You should be able to find all of the recent and relevant pods and content or whatever. There's Tam Kamara on there as well. The live reaction will be able to go up there as well, and we'll hopefully do it live to YouTube, so catch us on that. Ando, what are we looking like for subscribers? Because that's what we're doing now. We're on YouTube.
Well, we're a midge's ball hair away from 100, so I checked just before we started the tapes rolling for this, and we're on 95. So whenever you take the time to search for us on YouTube, you know what I'm going to say. I'm going to be really wanky and say, remember and hit that subscribe button. All right, you hit the subscribe button. What it'll do whenever we go live, it'll alert you, because well, who wouldn't want to watch us on a Saturday night or a Saturday afternoon, or as in the case this week, a Friday night, especially when you see me half steaming like I was at the weekend there, and I didn't know the difference between the record button and the stream button, which is why the first 20 minutes of our episode on Saturday wasn't there. But we'll iron out the kinks for this week.
We're getting better. We're trying. I like that there was 3 minutes of one of the podcasts just randomly live streamed to YouTube. It was just 3 minutes of us saying, "All right, mate, how's your week been? Aye, good, mate. Aye, end of transmission." and then the live reaction jumps into the start of the second half of Morton, which is class. Aye, cool. So this week we'll just do our usual stuff. We'll have headlines for the week. We will do Pat Stanton, which sadly, again, is just going to be the Morton review. We'll have Deividas Quiznauskis with myself. Nose by our noise. Kev is going to do this week. Away, Gorgie boys are in town with Ando. Away up in Gorgie is with Tam. And then just the usual nonsense in between. But as always, we like to start. We'll go to Shanks for If Anyone Can, Shanks McCann. Who got it right last week, and what's this week's Shanks McCann?
So before we get into that, Fraz McDonald seemed to think that I looked like Gail Porter on a Hearts top. Well, Fraz, I'm just going to have to grow my beard back because that's just rude, basically. Last week, 3 players, some shout-outs. First one, who was the shite right back, built like a fiver, Jason Thompson. Who was the wee wizard that he was always in the Africa Cup of Nations? Larry Kingston. And the best slam dunk you've ever seen at Pittodrie was Jordan McGee. Well done to Kyle Borthwick, Andy Dixon, BBJ Jr., Oldcastle Rock, Gareth C71, Ali Laurie, Sean Ross, Stefan Adams' right boot. I think I've covered everybody.
You sure have. Professional.
For the first time ever.
Right. So far, you've not insulted any of them. Fry's got a bit, but that was fine. He gave you a bit. You can take it.
Yep.
I'm
not insulting the listeners. So this week, okay. So I wrote these, prepared them for hours before the pod, 3 minutes ago. Player number 1, one of the best players in latest times, was an absolute standout in 2017. And we let him walk out the door. He's done nothing since, but he plays in the SPL. Player number 2. We didn't need him. We didn't want him. And we never played him. He sent Hampden wild. Now he's a baller. Player number 3. The longest loaned player we've ever had. Hates Ivan Sproul. Wanted to leave when Roberto Martinez tickled his balls, but the move fell through, and then he eventually left the famous to join Arsenal. That's the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And these guys definitely played for Hearts, aye? Good.
And
Right.
Arsenal.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Right. As always, we will pop. That was horrendous, but anyway, we'll put them on social media so you can see if you can get into the mind of the big man, of Gail in the corner. See if you can get the answers right. Cool. Headlines for this week. Obviously, the main headline is what we'll talk about in Pat Stanton, which is that Hearts are pretty shite. But we already know that. And we're 39 episodes in, and if it's taking you that long to realise that Hearts are shite, you've not been paying attention. So, headlines will be serious for a second. It's not Hearts related completely, but he's an absolute hero of all of ours. We obviously heard the news earlier in the week that Robbo's had a bit of bad news in his family. Won't be taking the post at Cali Thistle on Friday. Going to take a wee break from football or whatever. So on behalf of you guys, can do it yourself as well. But I think I speak for everybody when we say that, thoughts are with Robbo and his family. Wish him all the best. Hopefully, we'll know by now that Gorgie loves him and that we'll always be behind him if he needs it. I'm sure you echo that as well, boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a shame that he's not going to be there on Friday, isn't it? To be fair, it's his idea. It was his sort of, along with Kelly or whatever. Then for him not to be there seems a bit of a shame. But kind of shows you what must have happened in the background, because he wouldn't have missed that opportunity if it wasn't absolutely 100% necessary. So, aye. It sounds daft to say I hope we put on a performance for him, but then obviously putting a performance for it, and it'll directly go against his team. But I'm sure he knows what I mean by saying that. I hope the game reflects the stature of the man. So, aye, all the best, Robbo. This week it looks like, from our inside sources, that we're potentially signing a new boy. We've potentially signed someone today, and we are looking to make Cheesy the best goalkeeper that Livy's ever had, permanent, from his loan from Livingston. So any thoughts on it, and have you heard anything yourselves as to what's going on?
No idea. I only heard about the potential new signing when I dialed onto this today. But can we stop calling him Cheesy? I'm not about that patter. I think that is a shit name. I don't understand why he's called that, and there better be a really, really funny reason behind it. But until it's explained to me, and until I give it my seal of approval, bin that chat.
But just doesn't know the player's name.
I guess that was I don't know what the boy's
He's
actual
Champs
name
League.
is.
He's Champs League after my commentary.
Cheesy.
After your what were you were champion Charlie, weren't you? Champion Shanks.
Just called him Champs League because he was absolutely frightening.
I think it's a strange one that we're signing him and we're not getting. What's it? Is it Harry Stone, the reserve keeper?
Aye.
And he seems to be the next best thing. Surely he would be a good understudy.
How old is he?
I think the Harry Stone's young.
18, 19,
He's really young. Yeah.
If I was thinking about it long term, Bobby will leave in the summer. Cheesy will become second string, and Harry Stone will hang around the squad, if you know what I mean. Craig Gordon spoke a couple of times on Scarfs Around the Funnel about how much he rates Harry Stone. Young, you know yourself, Brad's been a keeper or whatever. Even making your debut at 21, 22 as a goalkeeper is still young as anything. So Harry Stone's got plenty of time. I think it makes sense to have somebody like, is it Ross Stewart? Is that his name?
That is.
Yes.
There we go. That have him hanging about. He's been more than able when he called upon. So, new guy I think is potentially going to be the right back that we spoke about before, maybe a loan signing. I don't know. I suppose once we hear, we can dive into the depths of who it will be. If it's a right back, he's just going to be here, short-term deal to cover Brandon being out anyway. It's pretty much it. Hearts headlines in it. Nothing else has really happened.
What you should do here is just leave a gap and then put in who the signing is tomorrow when it's announced, right?
Steve Banks.
Steve Banks. Over the top of it. Nothing else has happened, but Brad's wants to have a right good laugh at Celtic, and their implosion again this week has been pretty funny. So, Brad's, the floor is yours.
I just obviously doing a bit of trolling on Twitter, and honestly, I've always had in my head that the Rangers fans are the most deluded fans in the world. They're absolutely tin pot, and it's just crazy. But seeing some of the Celtic reactions, are honestly baffling. And it must stem from the club as well. You got Neil Lennon having a pop at like Nicola Sturgeon, instead of facing the fact that his team are doing shite. It's because she's mentioned their name once this week. he's losing the plot and trying to total deflection. But genuinely, and you can look it up on Twitter, listeners, there's a full thread on Twitter from a Celtic page that says, it's funny that Rangers are going to win 10 in a row when there's nobody that can get into the stands. How do we know they've not bought the league and are just claiming victories?
Did you see the one somebody was
Full thread.
Did you see the thing somebody was complaining that there was too many pigeons at Ibrox as well, which was hilarious. They were talking about that, but there was something wrong with that as well. Ando?
It's just a personal point of view from me. So I think I've been vocal about this before. I hate Celtic more than any other club that's ever walked the face of the earth. So to see them imploding just now, I'm absolutely loving it. And I will play the McDonald's theme tune whistling in the background when I say that. Get it right up, every single one of them. That's all I've got to say.
Like we said, sharing the echoing the points made on the podcast for our love for Robbo. I think we all echo those sentiments when it comes to Celtic. It's been I knew that one of them would absolutely lose their mind, whether it be winning 10 in a row or losing 10 in a row. I knew it would be comedy gold, but I could never have imagined it being as funny as it is right now. It's great fun. And Scott Brown as well, the day he was in the press, just ramping it up with his incoherent nonsense as well about how they're still the best team in Scotland and all that type of stuff. It's been absolutely superb.
Totally.
Since we're talking about an absolute fucking shambles, it's good to see the SFA stepping up to the mark and being their usual SFA-ness. Is that a thing? We'll call it that. So for the people that have lived under a rock, the officials that managed the game on Saturday between Hibs and Hamilton all should have been self-isolating and broke COVID rules to officiate the game. That's a good laugh, isn't it?
Well, I don't know if they're maybe getting a little bit of a tickle in the payroll. In the pay packet from us. Are we trying to fuck Hibs up by injecting COVID across the city? It'd be funny if it was true, but no. Joking aside, what an absolute fucking shambles. The game in this country has been run by an absolute bunch of mugs.
To be honest with you, that's like Celtic Day. I fucking love it because we told you they were idiots months ago. You can deal with it. It's hilarious. I hope every person that played on Saturday gets COVID, and I think that would be absolutely brilliant. Obviously, nobody gets it bad. Just a wee mild dose, and then we move on. But it'd still be funny. Take your medicine, as they say. We move on. Right. That's about the only headline. That's about the only headlines there is. I can't think of anything else that's happened in Scottish football that's even been remotely funny, considering we've been in an absolute shambles this week. Cool.
It's all just deflection.
There's a wee bit of COVID announcement. We might actually get into stadiums for next season, the way things are going, which is a wee bit positive.
That's true, but let's not go down that rabbit hole because that's annoyed me today as well. So you won't be shocked to hear that, listeners, that I'm annoyed, but that's annoyed me today.
I'll believe it when I'm sitting in a stadium.
When we're in the tiny arms, booing, or booing
Booing the barmaid.
Where's my pint? Boo!
It's going to be like, see, when you're like building up the atmosphere, there'll be no songs, no heart songs of that. It'll just be everybody going like boo, getting the vocal cords ready for when they get into Tynecastle. They walk through. I can't wait to be so disappointed watching Hearts. It's never been so buzzing in my life. Right, before we go into Hangway, let's do Deividas Quiznauskis.
Oh God, is this
hands
in the
down.
game?
Everybody,
jump to that,
yes.
Corbett. Did we find out if Berra had a wee boy or a wee girl? Or was that still not been announced yet?
No, there's been no announcements, and we're not talking about it.
We're
not talking about it.
Kev, why are you trying to trigger Corbett?
Okay.
That's what you want. Comedy.
I've already been triggered. I've been on a Talking Scottish Football podcast earlier and got myself all riled up. So you don't need to wind me up anymore. I'm trying to stay professional and calm. Right, Deividas Quiznauskis, it's Corbett, me. I'm doing it again because last week was fun to torture you. So the same as last week, everybody's hands where we can see them.
Awesome. Not right.
Why do you think I always like doing the quiz? It's just to watch people squirm without making myself look like an arsehole all the time. So, aye.
And this time I did do 2 quizzes. We do have a Corbett Hates quiz and we do have an actual quiz. So I'll do one from each, right? Number one in the actual quiz could tie into Who Does Corbett Hate? Because they're the same people, but there we go. So question 1, the easy one for 1 point. What is Loic Damour's squad number?
The easy one.
The easy one. Anybody want to take a guess? I'll just go round the door.
I'll go first.
Right,
I'll go
Shanks,
for a 28.
Brad's.
I had 17 in my head.
Is that your answer?
Aye.
Tam?
13.
Kev?
24.
You're a
I know.
dick. You're an absolute dick. I was going to take 24. I'll take 25. Squad numbers ain't my bag, so this is a blind
I hope it's
stab in the
24.
dark.
That'd be amazing.
No.
If it is, me and Kev are going outside for a fight.
Don't worry, there's no fighting. You've all got it wrong.
Brilliant.
So, for the listeners, his squad number is 22.
Ah.
Should
you
have
go.
made that closest to the pin.
Right, wait there. There's 2 closest to the pins. We'll get to it in a wee minute. But wait there, I'm just writing down my hangway. So I've got Brad's, it's Kev I'm missing. Right, Kev, there we go. Right, that was number 1 on the normal quiz. Do you want to have a stab at Who Does Corbett Hate?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Let's
What
play
for?
Who's Behind. Let's play. Aye. Well done, Brad gets 1 point. I will look at it on. Right, number 1 in the Who Does Corbett Hate? Who is behind door number 1? Was an old man when we signed him, ran around a lot, but he done literally fucking nothing. Tam,
Don
I've got
Cowie.
Brad's,
Don Cowie.
Shanks,
I know it's Don Cowie, but to mix it up, I'll go Aaron Hughes.
Kev.
He ran about a lot.
Aye, I was, aye, you fucked it there. It would definitely have to be Don Cowie.
No,
Ando.
Stephen McLean.
Oh, that's a curveball at the end. But the boy's unpredictable. It's Don Cowie.
Oh,
I actually really like
shite.
Don Cowie. I hate that you hated him, man.
I know that, but this is my feature, Thomas. Shut your little mouth. You can do that, right?
Can I get half a
You don't
point if
actually
you
get any-
also hated Stephen McLean?
For the listeners, I did hate Stephen McLean as well. So
Good. Give me half a point for that then.
It'd be,
Cheers.
it'd be a harder quiz if we just went, who does Corbett like?
Again, that's too predictable too, because I only like about 4 Hearts players. One of them's been on the podcast. So, here we go. Right, back to the normal quiz. Number 2 for 2 points. In fact, I'm generous. It is for 2 points. So if you get all of them right, you can have the amount of points for what there
I
is.
thought you were
There
going to
is.
say it.
There's 5 potential answers here, right? Ready?
Right.
Number 2. We have no cares for foreign players like... Finish the lyric. We have no cares for foreign players like... Right, go Ando, hand up first.
Tardelli.
Tardelli. 1 point for Ando.
That was going to be mine as well.
Oh, I shouldn't have said the 1 point to you, because now everybody's going to say, oh, aye, that was I was going to say that.
That's fastest finger first.
Right, anybody else? There's 5 potential answers. What is it?
That's one of the lines that I just go.
I'll give you another one if you want.
No, and I'll come to you once the guys have made an arse of themselves. Right,
Okay.
let's go.
Try and get the whole thing.
It's just one of those things that people go, oh man, that's exactly Shanks.
Is it not like
Betty me.
fucking Rossi something?
Is that your final answer?
Yes, because it's the one that'll get me the least pelters.
Right, okay. Anybody else want to take a stab at who it could be?
He's right. It's Ross.
I'm out here. I'm out.
I thought there was only 3 names.
There is
Right,
3
what?
names.
Do you want
What
to take a
called?
stab?
Is it no?
Right,
Massa. Oh, I can't remember his name. I can't remember
Kid.
what that is.
I think Kid.
No.
Sounds like
Massare. It's
It's Rossi, Walter, Kidd, and Tardelli.
An enorma. And Ando, you said you potentially wanted to know another one, or was yours Rossi?
It was Rossi.
Anybody else? If you want to
Great
hang,
Hearts fans. Really good Hearts fans.
Sir something.
if you could give him a bung, he would take it.
George Graham.
Aye, when he worked for UEFA, FIFA, gave him a bung. You
Platini.
could get the World Cup to France, Platini, you can get a point. You get half a point because I basically just tell you.
Yeah, you give me the answer.
Just fucking cut this whole bit out, otherwise they still listen to us again.
I looked up because it is one of those things I always laugh. I like to stop and listen to see what people do because everybody just goes.
It depends. It depends where you look as well, because different fan sites will give you different iterations of the same thing.
There's a version that's older, and then the newer one says like Platini and Artibello. Or the very first ones when like my dad and Kev were got to the games was Rossi, Benek and Tardelli.
That's the one I know. I just couldn't remember the middle guy.
There we go.
Just to absolutely sideswipe you and detour completely. I fucking hate that people sing Viva Kujabi.
Yeah. It's
Pa Kujabi. Why the fuck would you be singing Viva Kujabi? Live Kujabi. Like, shut the fuck up. Stop singing Viva Kujabi.
Shanks, you okay with that? Because that's one of your favourites to belt out in a terrace, isn't it?
I tell you what, if it's match day and it's you're on a Trinity Far Park, then it's probably me.
It is you. I'm speaking to you directly.
That was just aimed straight at you, Shanks. That whole bit there was only for you, Shanks, because I knew you wouldn't have a fucking clue.
You actually got one. I'm surprised you got one.
That was by absolute accident. No chance. Right. Now to the Who Does Corbett Hate quiz. Question 2. This is my favourite one. Right. Replaced a club legend. Signified the start of the sanitisation at the club. That's a hard word to say. Here we go. Who do I hate?
Replaced a club legend.
Yep.
Is this on field or off field? Or are you not allowed to tell us?
Not telling you.
You're not telling us. Right. Well, if it's replaced a club legend, it could be Anne Budge, because she started the sanitisation of the football club. She replaced a legend. No matter what way you slice it, Romanoff was a Hearts legend. He was an absolute fucking lunatic, but he is a legend.
It's Robbie Nielsen who replaced Gary Locke.
No. Do you think for my answer to Ando, play the countdown music, diddle do, and the answer is Jock the Jambo. He replaced Harty Harry. That's when Hearts started nosediving. Absolute shite. Harty Harry was the boy, the best mascot in Scotland. Ever since then, Jock the Jambo and Jelly the Jambo Doug or some shite like that. Pish.
You trying to suggest that Harty Harry was too controversial? Was he just walking about like a big cigar? Like,
it was like Sammy the Tank. He was square going people. Ali McCoist was him. He was brilliant.
I didn't want to go down a rabbit hole in the middle of the feature, but I just need to ask this to Kev while it's fresh in my head. Kev, can you remember the Marshall's chicken that used to come on at half time?
Aye, that's like 1987, maybe 88.
There you go. Right. I can mind it too. Right, move on.
That's
all. The rest of you can Google it.
It was also the B-side to the Hearts song.
Yep. Marshalls, the Chunky Chicken Champions. We just to go down a further rabbit hole, right? Remember when you were in primary school or whatever, you used to do like show and tell or like what does your daddy and all that type of stuff. Boy in my school or whatever, God did it like what does your dad do? And people were like, oh, fucking fireman or something like that. Well, I lived in Knightsbridge and nobody's dad was a fireman. Most people were like, I don't even know my dad. One guy who I know. One guy
just took in your Henry Smith shirt and said that Henry Smith was your dad.
I'm his names or whatever, but somebody stood up and says, what does your dad do? And he went, he's a chicken strangler. He worked in the farm at Broxburn and that's what he did. A chicken strangler. Brilliant.
I now live there, so that's class.
There you go, maybe it's you. Right, let's go back to the real quiz.
Sounds like he was some sort of wanker there, like, yeah.
Yeah. Strangled his chicken, but let's move on. Right, let's not talk about what we're up to in lockdown. Right, number 3. Ready?
You keeping score of the points here?
What's the point? Nobody's got any. Nobody's got any. Kidding on. It's nothing to be proud of. The score's so move on.
Fair enough.
John Suter has been a professional since 2013. How many games a season has he averaged?
Are you rounding up or rounding down?
We'll go round. I don't care, Kev.
You
can't put a 0.5 a game, so round up or round down. Right, Ando, you had your hand up first. What's the answer?
I'll go 18.
18. Kev.
14.
Tam.
18's what I was thinking, so I'll go 19.
Bradley.
13.
Shanks.
12.
Unlucky boys. That's no points all round again. You were I thought if you were going to continue on the theme from Tam, because you were one away, if you'd went to 20, he's averaged 20 games a season. Anything. So he's actually, to be fair, he's no missed.
Bollocks, man. I get a point
Did
for being closest.
I get half a point for that?
Well, no, the next two are closest to the pins, and you can get points for closest to the pin then. But anyway, go back to the real quiz that we all want today. Question 3 on Who Does Corbett Hate? Ready?
Aye.
If not, you don't get this. Yeah, we're weaving pals.
Sam Bodge.
Laptop.
Austin
Ian
McPhee.
Catherall.
See.
Oh, Ando, you got it wrong. Long-haired one wearing a laptop.
Oh,
I said.
shit. I never heard the
Guy.
long-haired bit. I just heard laptop.
Yep, you jumped in and you said it, and it's got to stick with your first answer.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
annoying.
Austin Jesus McPhee. The guy, the only highlight for that documentary was him trying to win that header. Remember where they were talking about? Was the point he jumped and fell on his ass. Absolutely superb. Right, for 4 points, and this is the last two questions in the real quiz are closest to the pin. Right?
Go.
We have a squad of 26 players. How much do their squad numbers add up to?
Fucking hell, Corbett.
You're just the worst guy,
Right.
Okay.
Do you want another we play the do?
No, you're right. I'll give you my guess.
Ando, sure.
1,981.
Unlucky Ando.
1981.
Brad.
It's 642.
Tam.
289.
Kev.
292.
Shanks.
293.
No points. It's 439.
I'm closest.
Closest to the pin. How can you
Oh,
no
closest to
points?
the pin. You got it right, Brad. You got it right. Well done. Brad, you get 4 points. I forgot it was closest to the pin.
This quiz is pish.
Like the easy ones are the Who Does Corbett Hate, and then you have to have some actual proper ones. So number 4 for Who Does Corbett Hate. Superb in the gym, could lift a VW Golf, tied himself in knots, and fucking hates goals.
H.
Yeah.
Fantastic, lads. I'm so happy that you know me so well. The big man. And to be fair to the big man, he's proved me wrong. See his stats for disallowed goals, probably the best in football. Unbelievable. Superb, what a player. Anyway.
I'll check and see if he's scored tonight.
How many own goals has he had this
He
weekend?
has not. He missed a penalty tonight.
Fuck off, did he?
Telling me he's not
That's
scored
class.
and he's missed a penalty.
No, that goes
is-
down in your stats. That nearly went in.
Aye, that's almost a goal. That's Ballon d'Or material. How is he'll be up there? Like he will be up there. Right, number 5. Now this is my personal favourite. I've outdone myself with this because it is total and utter nonsense. Right, number 5, closest to the pin. Kevin James is the biggest man on planet Earth at 2 meters tall. He might not be, but for this sake, he's the tallest man that's ever lived. He's 2 meters tall. How many Kevin Jameses would you need from my house to Tynecastle?
Right, so wait a minute. Kevin James, I thought was the guy out of King of Queens.
I know. I mean, the big stupid guy we signed for Falkirk, he was about 8 foot tall.
Oh, right,
Like,
okay.
he was 6'8", but when he jumped, he made himself about 5'2".
Aye. So he's 2 meters tall. Do you want some math? So how many Kevin Jameses would you need to my house in Bathgate to Tynecastle, which is
I'll go.
18 miles?
I will go 1,100.
Did you just give us the miles?
Yeah,
Aye, so
I
how
can't
many?
work that out though, Shanks.
Yeah,
How many?
miles and meters don't divide equally, do they?
Well,
That's
they do with
metric and
kilometres,
imperial.
so
If you
you
know
can
like
work out.
more than those, you can work it. Why did you just give us the answer, you twat? How many miles did you say, seeing as you've told everyone?
It's 18 mile. You're not going to work it out based on that. So it's 18
Ah,
miles
well,
from my
alright,
house.
that then.
Right, go on then. Let's do your math then. 18 miles from my house to Tynecastle and Kevin James is 2 metres tall.
Aye.
How many Kev James do you have?
Right, here
6,000.
you go, Google. You're dividing
Oh.
meters into miles. Yeah.
16,000 Kevin Jameses.
Fucking hell, man. He's still not getting it, is it? How many
Sorry,
meters?
he's just putting however many kilometres go into a mile and then working it out that way.
We're not doing a maths quiz. Shut the fuck up. 14,600.
Right, okay. Anybody else?
Aye.
12,881.
Sam?
4 Kevin Jameses.
I'm going to go one more than Kev. Whatever
Right.
he said.
Right, okay.
12,882 there.
That's it.
Brad's one.
2 in
So
a
he gets
row.
5 points. You need, it's 14,481 Kevin Jameses.
You know what?
Two
My original answer was 14,400 and I upped it. There we go. Look at that.
So, there you go. I tried to figure out, all I wanted to do to begin with was how many Kevin Jameses was the height of Tynecastle, but trying to find the height of Tynecastle was impossible, man. So, there we go. Right, last one for the Who Does Corbett Hate. You ready?
Go.
This is the easiest one out of them all. Played in goals. No.
Joe Pereira.
Nope. Although
Wells
he
Hogarth.
was on the short list. Not Miles. I love Miles.
Bobby.
Nope.
Bobby's not. No.
Oh, Henry Smith.
No, that's my hero. I'll battle you.
No, but no after tell you to fuck off in Safeway or whatever it was.
Colin Doyle.
I forgive him. Nope.
Jim Leighton.
Nope.
Christ. Jimmy McDonald.
Nope. Getting closer though. He did play for Hearts.
Jack Hamilton.
Jack Hamilton. Well done, Brad. You're getting loads of points.
Hey.
Get in there.
Jack Hamilton. There you go. And just because you can't see it in my question, it said played in goals ? So that's maybe where the confusion has come from.
He
So there
stood
you
there.
go.
Does he fall into the same category though as Whiting? And the fact that he was actually the winning keeper in the first game in the 2014 season?
Nope.
I have no idea what you're talking about, so I'll just leave it.
Craig Whiting never
Brad's-
played in goals, mate.
I can. He was never even a goalkeeper, man. But it's fine. We'll move on. Well done, Brad. Song Hangman or whatever he's called. You won the prize. 9 points and nobody else. I think Shanks was the only other person that got even one right.
Well,
so.
this is embarrassing. I think I've won it the last 3 weeks in a row, isn't I? And
Doing it just because I'm going to make it so obscure and random because it's funnier than actual trying to figure out how many games Hearts played at Ball Green in 1927.
Our listeners like to answer questions that are relevant, not
Aye,
just
no.
opinion.
They've got Shanks McCann.
Aye.
They've got Shanks McCann. I just think of how much fun in lockdown Kevin James's family are going to have measuring them all the way to Tynecastle. You know what I mean? Be unbelievable for them.
And then give us feedback to say we were wrong.
I've done an absolute service for the James family. There
Did
we
you
go.
do maths there, Brad? Did you try to work out miles and kilometres and stuff?
I
Is
did.
that
I've got to be some
still-
written down.
I'm still quibbling. Oh, we didn't. Oh, we're writing sums down now.
Let's wait a wee minute. Have you just disqualified yourself? I said hands,
Oh,
I said
I
hands
did.
up in there.
I was guessing.
who was second closest for 16,000?
You threw yourself under the bus, Brits. Disappointed in you.
I can't times 18 by 1.6. I'd be fucking.
Right, so we did. That was just so that we could have a bit of banter before we dived into Pat Stanton, which was Morton and how rubbish it is. So, anybody that lives under a rock, Hearts played Morton on Saturday, and it finished 1-1, and it was absolutely dire. And me and Ando and Kev have already spilled our guts about how shite it was. But now we'll go round the boys. We'll talk about who wants to go first. Tam, you want to go first?
Nah, I'm the exact same as like on Saturday after the game. I just didn't want to talk about
That. No, you shout out.
I shout out on Saturday, so I do apologise. It was just
Well, wait.
horrendous. though.
Actually, wait there, Sam. Before you start talking, I'm going to get dressed up like you. Is this not what Happy Clappers look like when they go to Tynecastle?
oh, this is amazing. I've never seen this coming.
How good Hearts are since you shout out to coming out of the live stream to tell the world that we're rubbish. YouTube tonight that you're Mr. Positive. Let's go. Wait, I've even got my packed lunchbox.
We need some
hell.
face paint, man. We need some
Right.
face paint.
For the
I'll take my face
audio-only listeners, if this was the perfect reason for you to go and have a look at the YouTube video for this episode, please do it, and have a look at around the 40-minute mark or wherever it is, because Corbett is dolled up like an absolute arse ride, and he looks exactly the same as Tam, to be fair.
I'm just worried that how Corbett actually managed to get my hat and scarf.
I know.
Like a big Jambo, Jimmy Savile, Willy Wonka lookalike.
You'll see, this is you might have noticed now. This is what Tam looks like around Tynecastle. Just try to get player autographs in that. He's the type of guy that, see when the ball goes out of the touchline and you see boys that throw the ball away for the player, Tam goes like, "You're having a good game. You're having a really good game. Keep trying."
With his clacker going.
Exactly. Loving it. Right, Tam, talk us about Saturday. How good was it? What was your highlights? Who'd you love?
Well, the first 30 minutes were good. It'd be class if we could, having read your article on the, I can't remember the website. I do apologise. I don't know if you want to plug that now. Well, I mentioned it. Nope, but yeah, having
podcast.
We never scored in the first 30 minutes. We were actually decent. We just never took any chances. And then second half, we came out and it was just the worst performance I've ever seen in my life. We looked terrible from front to back. There was no good performance. Don't really have much else to say, to be honest.
You're going to pull out your Hearts annual and tell them all the players individually you're sorry for saying they were shitey. You just said, "Sorry, Christoph, you're my favourite Hearts player ever."
I ripped up my my Hearts calendar in disgust on Saturday.
Scored on faces it. Through them. Brads, what was your hangway of the game?
So I'll take a slightly different spin. It's something I spoke about last week, is players taking responsibility. Now, see if you're saying to Robbie before the game, what would you be happy with kind of statistically? He's going to say 70% possession, 26 shots on goal. We're going to fucking boss that game. That's going to be an 8 or 9-0. Now, if your team's creating 26 goal-scoring opportunities and not fucking putting the ball in the net, again, what more are we wanting? How many more chances do we need to create? How many more chances do the players need to create before they start putting the ball in the fucking net?
We scored, man.
I know, but 26 opportunities and only putting one in the net. And what was it, 6 on target or something like that?
We scored once, and this is the big problem. Is it scored once after they had scored? If it was a 1-0 victory, then that argument maybe holds. But it doesn't.
The point is that I'm trying to say, that if you were a manager and if you were saying like they didn't create anything the whole game, and they were struggling with possession, they were turning the ball over, they didn't. They kept possession 70% through the whole fucking game, dominated everything in the first half, created 26 goal-scoring opportunities, and took none of them. Like, again, you know how I stand, I would change the shape. I think he's a shite bag for staying at this 4-2-3-1. There's lots to point at him, but I think the question still needs to circle back to, are the players stepping up enough? So,
of course, but then I'll come to Tam in a wee second, but my thing to counter what you're saying there is, you're right, on paper we've absolutely battered Morton but not took our chances, and on paper we've probably absolutely battered Queens and not took our chances, and on paper we've probably battered Ayr and not took our chances. Do you know, I think that's maybe part of the problem, is that he's thinking, well, we just have to take one of those chances and we win 3 or 4-0, so we'll just stick to doing what we're doing and we'll do the same again next week, rather than looking to be like, well, actually, what's the thought or what's the circumstances around this? Because that's what I always feel like you said. He's got a playbook, excuses that he wheels out all the time, refs and pitches and all that sort of stuff. And like you said, on paper, if he was to sit down and describe the perfect game, we'd have 70% possession, 30 chances on goal, and we'd score 4 or 5 and we'd win comfortably. Do you know what I mean? So now, has he gone in after the game thinking to himself, oh, if we score next week, we'll win that 4-0, and missing all the glaring opportunities? Do you know what I mean?
In his head, he'll be saying, my formation has created 26 goal scoring opportunities. Why the fuck would I change it? And that's an issue in itself. But Popescu missed for 2 yards out. You've got other big chances in the game where they're not pulling the trigger early enough. Boyce was guilty. It's just, part of me is thinking these boys have to, if you've got 26 opportunities in a game, you have to put in a few in the back of the net. Some of it might, as I alluded in a group chat, if you looked at the Rangers goals that night there, fucking 2 big deflections and the keeper kicks it off the back of the boy's head and it's a 4-0, it looks like they've absolutely lost it. Why can't we get some sort of luck in that sense? But I don't know. I'm just trying to remain, as I said, slightly positive. Why would they change something if his structure is creating opportunities?
Tam, what were you saying?
Sorry, just on Bradley's point, but you're saying why would they change something? The biggest thing that annoyed me on Saturday was, you seen it as soon as he came on, but Walker came on, got the goal. Like, why was he taken out of the team in the first place? Like, he's one of our most informed players, I would say, at the minute. And Naismith is not.
It wouldn't change the shape. I would agree the personnel would change.
Yeah.
Again, I'm just trying to argue the points. I want a 3-5-2, and I've always been alluded to that. But I'm just trying to defend a position here.
Aye.
Kev, what were you thinking?
Well, we've spoke. Well, on you go, Kev. I was going to say we've already gretarised it about Morton. So
exactly, it is exactly that. And I think I mentioned it in the group chat, and I think Corbett, you stuck it out on the socials on Saturday. It was 225 minutes. We scored 1 goal for the penalty spot.
Aye.
That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Yes, there's numerous occasions where we try and walk the ball into the net. There's numerous occasions we just make the final pass is not a pass, or the pass is not required. It's a shot and goal that's required. We try and sometimes make it too complex. Again, there's probably a number of different factors that we can all see in different games. It could be that, do you know what, we're just being too complex. We're trying to be too smart because the opposition maybe aren't at the same level. Well, let's just hold a minute here. Let's just get the ball in the net first of all. Let's get yourself 2 or 3-0 up and then start to be smart with the ball. Fine, no problem. Don't wait till you go 1-0 down before you actually then start to make changes that make an impact in the game. You just pull your hair out. There's a couple of guys who on the podcast have already done that.
Shanks,
fuck off.
Let's talk about your position in, Shanksy boy. What did you think of Saturday?
So, another 12 corners. 24 corners in 2 games. What is going on? Why can we not finish a set piece? It's unbelievable. The strength and height, the amount of Kevin Jameses in that team, do not understand it. I'm bored of persevering with this formation. I know that you're saying you just want to change the personnel, but for me, leave Gary Friesen in Queensferry on the way up the road on Friday night. He can fuck off. Either go 4-3-3 or play the diamond. Let's play through the middle, and I think we'll dominate. I'm just this constant sticking with what we've got, playing for the byline. It's just not working.
Aye.
Let's play our strengths. We've got an absolutely terrific middle of the park there. Boy, we talk about on the Big Hearts thing. We talk about Halliday. We talk about McAnuff. We talk about Haring. We talk about Irvin. We've got McGill. There's boys through the middle there desperate to play. Give them a shot. Get Walker in the 10. Boyce and Nays up front and smash them through the middle.
Well, you mentioned someone there that actually was probably my last thing that we'll talk about here, because it was a good point that was raised on the live reaction thing, and it'd be interesting to get your views on it because he's one of their. Stephen Naismith is becoming a real problem for Hearts. Stephen Naismith on Saturday contributed the sum total of fuck all, but played as a striker, as the attacking midfielder. He played at right mid and he got dropped into centre midfield. Castanier, who was not brilliant, but he wasn't the worst, made one mistake and was instantly hooked off. It bugs me. And I get it. I said, Shanks alluded to it, I said it on the Big Hearts call earlier, that I get that Stephen Naismith is a leader, and when he came on at Queens, he made an instant difference. We need somebody like a manager on the park. I know that Robbie and that like the fact that he manages the park and he demands standards and all that sort of stuff, but he doesn't contribute anything, and he's becoming, like Tam said there, Walker's on the bench so that Naismith can play in a role that we've seen so many times this season that he can impact matches from. Do you know what I mean? I just feel that we trying our best to make Stephen Naismith play, and I think he sucks the life out of us. Brads?
I would agree completely with that, and I think there's 2 kind of sides to this. I think one, he sees himself as this Charlie Adam role. And if you watch Dundee play, everything goes through him deep in the park. He controls everything. He's a playmaker, and it's working for them to a certain degree.
Whenever they get to play games.
I think he sees himself as that kind of old school, I'm a baller, I can stroll this league, give me the ball, I need to be involved in every single bit of play, even though we've alluded to it on Twitter, that he slows everything down. Players are deliberately playing to him rather than going for the easier option. And my other side of this, I think he potentially, and I'm only speculating here, he probably has too much of a influence in Robbie's ear because
I think so too.
Pro. I think him and Robbie will have the chats at the start. Oh, what we're doing here, this is how we're setting up. Obviously, we know that he's going to go down the coaching role, so he's probably been told to be an understudy to Robbie. So, again, only speculation, but I'm assuming he's got too much weight in the changing room, and he'll go right up, put me in there, and blah 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 blah. That's how I think it works. Unfortunately.
I don't disagree with what you're saying as well. Ando?
No, just again, not going over all ground, but absolutely 100% agree with that, because it's like he's a nippy sweetie when he's on the park, right? That isn't going to get any better when they're off the park or when he's sat on the bench, right? He's just going to be sitting there sniping and sniping and sniping. Now, some of it might be constructive, some of it might be valuable, but I absolutely agree. He's got far too much influence.
I agree. I think that he's got far too much of a finger on it. I'll come to a wee question in a wee second after Tam. You say what you're going to say.
I've got a question for you. Do you reckon he's done, or how long has he got left, essentially?
3.5 years.
You come in here and trample over math. I'm going to ask a question and then one up me with your own question.
It's a better question. Got to ask it.
He's no finish.
Hey!
Oh, I hate that.
Oh,
Didn't do it. No.
It's removed from the... It was nice to see you, Brad.
fucking mute him.
I'm going for a beer anyway.
Good. You really should, because I want to talk about you when you're not here. No, I don't think he's finished there. I think he should be. In any other role other than a striker, I think he is. It's fine being nippy and demanding standards. That's absolutely fine. But we've said it before, and there's no point going over it again. It's like working in your own work. If you get somebody that's mouthy and does the messages for the manager and is up the manager's arse and all that sort of stuff, that's acceptable as long as they walk the walk. They have to be contributing themselves. Otherwise, you just think, shut up, man. Fuck you, dick. I'll do what I want, because you've got to contribute. And he doesn't contribute in the positions that he plays. So here's what I was just about to say. It just came into my head when we were talking about it there. It's been not something that's only at Robbie's door, but it's something over the years. We seem to treat players on the way out of the game a hell of a lot better than we treat the young boys making their way in the games. Aaron Hughes, Stephen McLean, Craig Gordon, Stephen Naismith, Christoph Berra, Glenn Whelan, Don Cowie, like all these guys that are on the later bits of their life, that maybe it feels to me like they say, I want to be a coach, and everybody goes, brilliant, get him in, we can train him up to be a coach, and we escort them out of the game a lot more comfortably and favourably than we do with the young boys coming through. Agree? Disagree?
Class point.
Yep.
I think we're seeing that now with Irvin in terms of this contract fiasco.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep. You look at the boys that we've just spoke about there, like you said it there as well, Shanks, earlier. We've got McGill, Moore, McDonald, Cochrane, Irving, and that's just this season that are boys that have been either replaced by Elliot Freer or replaced by Andy Halliday, moved out on loan, all that sort of stuff. And then you go down the age, the seasons and seasons that we've had it ourselves. Like players that we don't rate, and don't get me wrong, they weren't the great players and they haven't went on to do anything much better, but at the time they weren't any worse than the players that were there, like Brad Mackay, Jordan McGee, McHattie, Keatings, all these people that got moved on so that we could bring in older guys. It's maybe something that we're looking too much into it, but since we had that idea at the club about having the conveyor belt of coaches, do you know what I mean? Like the coach that was the first team coach becomes the manager, and then the next first team coach becomes the manager. We seem to, like you said, Stephen Naismith seems to get a bit of a free ride, shoehorn to play wherever he wants, because it's inevitable that he'll probably become a coach. Next. Right. Morton was a disaster. We have our virtual ticket pal playoff showdown on Friday with Cali Thistle. We'll just do predictions. We don't need to. We spoke about it before. We can talk about changing shapes and what formations we'd like. We've all made perfectly reasonable arguments for different shapes, but we'll play 4-2-3-1, and that's exactly what will happen on Friday. So there's no point discussing it. We've done it to death. What are the predictions? So Ando, what's your prediction for Friday night?
I'm going to go a hard-fought 2-1 away victory to the Hearts.
Nice. Bradley?
Unfortunately, they're rudderless, so I'm going to go 3-1 Hearts.
Morton didn't have a manager, nearly Queen of the South, by the way, just in case you...
I don't think Inverness have got their assistant either.
I think Barry Wilson's still
Morton's under
South
16 coach was taking the team on Saturday. Oh, that's fine. Anyway, so
3-1 Hearts.
Tam, they've drawn tonight. They've drawn 2 each at home to Alloa.
They barely played a game in the last however many weeks as well, haven't they? So I think it'll cover the cracks again and we'll win 3-0.
Rafe Rovers hadn't played a game in
don't bring that up as well.
Beat us at home. So there we go. That's fine. Kev, what's happening Friday?
So, I think them playing tonight will have an impact. I think playing on a Tuesday night and then playing on a Friday night will definitely take its toll. So I will go with a 0-2 Hearts win.
Shanksy?
I think we will go behind again. The wee Fanny Todorov will come back to haunt us, and we'll come back by the skin of our teeth 2-2.
Got a question, Shanks. Is that the only Inverness player you know?
No, I'm looking at the team right now, you little prick. And I can give you the full start 11 and formation if you wish.
Yeah, we could be up against Tony McDonald, eh?
Yep. And James Keaton. And
was he on your list, Shanks?
Nope, he's not in the squad tonight.
Yeah. Not to be my usual absolutely buzzing self, we beat them 1-0. Struggle in the League Cup. We beat them 2-1 at Tynecastle, where we made it difficult for ourselves. We have just drawn at Queen of the South. We've just drawn at home to Morton. I cannot see anything other than 6-0 at Hearts. So that's what I'll do. 6-0. Yeah. I think we're due a performance. I think Robbie. I said on the big Hearts call, being serious, that the margin for error now is getting smaller. The gap between us and the rest should be bigger. I think Robbie will acknowledge that. I think there has to be something that breaks the camel's back, because we've been on decline for a while, and I think just the fact that it's on TV and we've been shite, and managers like to sort of have their teams play at least good when they're on the telly, so that people can see that we're better than what we actually are. I think we'll get a performance. It might not be 6-0, but I think we'll win comfortably, would be my shout. Cool. And I'll text Rab and ask what Rab thinks about the game. Cool. Right. Let's do... Well, we've still got Nose by our Noise with Kev. We've got the Gorgie boys are in town, and we have away up in Gorgie. So we'll do away... we'll do Gorgie boys are in town first. So, Ando, you're on away day duties this week. What do you have for us?
So, this is... It's probably up there with my... In fact, no, it's my second favourite. Just is. It's my second favourite. My favourite away ground to go to is obviously the Hibs, but because that's still in the same city, it doesn't have that away day feel. This place is up there, and I think I've been there with all yous bar you, Corbett. I don't think I've been to this place with you. So it's Motherwell. Motherwell away is right up there, right? And I've got so many stories which I'll obviously chew over in the next wee moment or two. The Motherwell for me, it's got the perfect balance of sort of distance and effort. It's like if you look at Aberdeen, right? Aberdeen's a brilliant away day, so is Inverness, right? But it takes you a fucking eternity to get there. It takes you ages. Motherwell, nice and easy. Get to Haymarket, jump in the train with your cargo of dragon soup and Buckfast. That's right, I did say Dragon Soup and Buckfast because there's pictures to prove that I bought it one time. Aye, jump on the train at Haymarket. You're in Motherwell, no time at all. After a brief wee stop at Carstairs, so Tam can jump off the train for a fag. Although one wee thing, if you can, and depending on where you're at in the city, make sure that you try and jump on the train at Waverley, right? Maybe don't make the mistake of getting on at Haymarket because it can always be mobbed and you might not get a seat. Anyway, once you're in Motherwell, you want to be heading for the JD or the Jack Daniels bar, but we've all been in there, but it's been taken over now. I believe it's called the Steelworks Bar and Grill, just off the Airballs Road. It's one of these old-fashioned places, really, really close to the ground, where you've got on one side the home fans go, and then on the other side the away fans go. So it's a pub that's basically two pubs. It's been split in two, and from there, it's really a 5-minute a 5-minute walk to get to the ground, unless you're with Shanks. In which case that's probably going to take you about 15 to 20 minutes. I'll cover that in more detail in a second. The benefits of that pub, it's cheap as chips, really, really good atmosphere. You can go in there and pick a fight with a goalkeeper from another Premiership club. Shanks, I'll come to you in a minute for that. But I've had loads and loads of good days out at Fir Park. Brad's, Tam, Shanks, I think maybe Kev, you've been involved at some stage. Topped off with the latest one, which would have been the first game of the season, not this season, but the last time we were in the Premier League. Shanks got absolutely mortal on something, I can't remember what. I want to say absinthe. It's probably something as ridiculous because you have a tendency to go off-piste when we're in a bar like that. Walking out of the place, walking up to Fir Park, the fresh air hits Shanks like a ton of bricks, and I looked over my right shoulder, carrying on the conversation, talking to his dad, and there's Shanks' 2 feet sticking out for the bottom of a bush that he'd fallen into. They had to get rescued by his old man. Then, of course, your old man rescued you out of that bush, Shanks, and said, "You going to help me with this boy?" I'm like, "Nah, you're okay, pal. I'll see you in the ground. You get him in there, and I'll look after him on the way home." I was like, "Right, fine, no bother." But Fir Park, really, really good away day. Plenty of places to go boozing. It's always a good laugh getting there, always a good laugh getting back. It's just a shame that in all the times that I've been to Fir Park, I've never actually seen us win. Which is the bit that's the shitter for me for that. Famously, never been 2 grounds I've been to where I've never seen us win. Motherwell's one, Kilmarnock's another. So there you go. My away day, Motherwell. Brilliant day out.
See, to add to your wee JD story, that's the first time in my life I've been thrown out of a bar at the same time that everybody I was with got thrown out at the same time for 3 separate incidences. So I got thrown out because the piss I was taking for ages, so I went through to the Motherwell lounge, which was like a wee domino lounge. It was so quiet. So I just strolled through there, my heart's top on, went to the toilet, like, "You're not in here, out." At the same time, I think that you and Tam got thrown out for standing on chairs and singing, and Shanks was like bulldozing somebody. So all 4 of us got chucked out, but for 4 separate occasions. It was just...
Shanks, who was the goalkeeper that was sat in there one day? He played for another... I want to say it was the St Mirren goalkeeper or something who was playing on the Sunday. He was in there getting a bevy with his pals. Can you remember the name of him?
Some fucking Ouija St Mirren ginger wank who all I said to him was, "Well played last night, big man," because they were playing on the telly on the Friday night.
Is that what it was?
I don't know, I'd had a couple of bevies, so apparently pack lunch. I think they got beat, so he thought that I was trying to take the piss out of him. So him and his pals tried to start on us, and being the mad Gorgie aggro as we were, we ran away.
You left your dad to fight your battle for you.
And what was it you were drinking?
On the old, I don't know, you bought me some pint of green shite. Another wee bit of train info. If you're rolling into Fir Park, get off at the station before the main station, because you can actually get a taxi there. You can't get one at the main bit.
Or you can just walk. It's only a 2-minute walk for the train.
It really is. But
Have you
remember,
never been anywhere with Shanks? He has to get a taxi everywhere.
when you've seen him
Walk.
dismantle 8 or 9 cans of dragon soup and half a bottle of Buckfast, it could be the end of the platform. The stadium could be there, and he's still not making it.
You did make us get a taxi for like the top of like Leaf Walk or something to Middleton's for the derby one time.
I did.
We waited like 25 minutes. That would have taken us 10 minutes to walk.
That's like 27 Kevin Jameses. We had to get in there for
I hate Motherwell. I've told you before that. The only good Motherwell story was Uncle Darton Heat back in the day. That's the only thing that's ever good that's ever happened in Motherwell.
I'll tell you why you hate Motherwell. It's because you've not been there with the boys, have you? You've not been there to Motherwell away with this crowd, and that's what's missing.
What's even weirder?
Dragon soup, lemon Corbett's. You're not any of them.
What do you call it? I played a festival in that JD bar. Actually, they paid us money to headline a festival to play in there, and you showed up. I was like, "What is this? What is this?" There's like old men playing dominoes, 27 pool tables, and a dartboard at the back, and then bands just playing with old men being absolute raging that were ruining their Friday night. It was absolutely atrocious. It was minging, but I do like a good away day to Motherwell. Right, you can, if there's pictures, you put them on the website if the boys okay them.
Absolutely not.
No, there's it's not a case of okaying the pictures. The pictures are absolutely fine. The bother is Shanks dancing with a guy that's just come out the toilet, who I think might not even be a Hearts fan. That I've got on video. Remember that boy with long hair? Comes at the bog and you're like, "Hey, the Gorgie boys are in town," going absolutely mental. Put your scarf around his head and everything. He's just a civilian.
And I think I was in the away WC. That was probably why we got horsed out that night.
No, this was on the train on the way through. You're right.
Sure. Oh, right. I thought we were still on the JD. Well, we're definitely never getting back in there, so we should probably never go back.
It's okay. It's changed hands now. The bar staff, they'll all have died or been replaced, so it's fine.
Jesus.
Nobody wants to go to a bar grill before the football anyway. That's just disgusting. No one wants that.
But
It
for
almost
nostalgia.
changed into a weird bar grill type thing.
Where?
It was the Robos, and they did a show football on the telly.
Hide your scarves.
Yeah.
Oh, that was terrible.
Steak in the sash. Folk weren't happy, like. Folk were not happy with that. They were raging. Your man out for a Sunday dinner and the Gorgie aggro getting at big legs on the table, smashing up their steak, Diane. Furious.
Good shout though, Corbett. I will put some of the pictures and a couple of wee video clips on the site, and we'll publish it on the socials.
Talking about wee shite holes we get chucked out of, we're going to go to away up in Gorgie next with Tam. So, Tam, talk us through what we got this week.
So, I went for another side of Gorgie this time. I went to the Wheatfield End. This pub, it's as you described the JD bar. It's got darts, it's got pool, it's got hundreds of tellies, probably guys playing dominoes on a Friday night as well. Also got a big beer garden, and for me, you know what I love about it most? It's got a big bar, and see, for somebody that's as short as me, it's quite easy to get served. Whereas, see, like the tiny arms of that, I really struggle because I can't jump over folk and like struggle. So, my place is the Murrayfield Sports Bar this week, which
good choice.
It's not always the one, but it's I quite enjoy it in there myself.
I do enjoy the Murrayfield as well. It's good walking distance. You can park the car and we used to pretend that we knew somebody that lived in those flats, and there's always like G4S security guys. You come in and you'd be like, "Oh, it's Nicky Anderson's flat or something." And you'd be like, "All right," and you go. But I don't know who that is. We just made it up, man. It's brilliant. Anybody else got good memories, Kev?
There's also a second bar, which we've already identified after talking about Stratties last week. The top bar in Stratties. They also have a second bar, but you can only buy bottles or test tubes. Let's be honest, any boozer that sells a test tube before a football match, perfect.
I didn't know about that, but I wish I knew about that, Kev.
Yeah, a test tube.
Test tube filled with it though.
Aye, fuck, God knows. Yellow, red, blue, greens, fucking everything in that bloody place.
Shanks.
Massive pisser, which is always good on a match day. No like the tiny arms where pointless even trying to go because you'll miss the game.
Is it like a World War I trench, or is it actually alright? What are the facilities like? This
I'd
could
be
put it
lying
up-
if I told you.
This could put it up the
It's just
Gorgie
massive.
meter.
It's a trench, mate. It's a
Well,
trench.
I was gonna say
it's a big trough,
Made
but
of
like
concrete,
it's like metal, no like a
Is it
just a
aluminium?
aluminium. Yes.
That's what I was going to say. We could do a way up in Gorgie and then a way up in Jobby, and we could rate the worst jobbies you've ever seen in some of these toilets. Because it was actually after we were talking about Stratties, I can remember going into Stratties and there being like a jobby perfectly on top of an overflowing toilet roll filled toilet, and I thought some boy has been desperate, done it, and then went, oh no, and just left an absolute perfect emoji styled poo on the top, and I thought people didn't
amazing.
understand how much I miss that about football. How much that when you open the door of one of these pubs to go to the toilet and you're just hit with the stench, and 90 boys all just crammed round to try to pee onto that wee stupid tin foil bit that you pee on. It's brilliant. It's great fun. Where are we rating it on the Gorgie meter then?
Well, this is your call. You're the sitting judge for this, are you not? So is it beating Stratties 9.5?
I'm not sure it's got a lot of character. It's not got much Hearts heritage, and it's called after the fucking rugby.
Aye, and it's too close to a McDonald's. That's instantly you got to take that off. That's tin pot stuff. That's Livy Macaroni Arena style stuff. You know what I mean? You want a good chippy and more boozers, and that's
Got a chippy is closer than the McDonald's.
No, but listen,
never
Tam,
open.
Stratties, you come out of Stratties and you just turn your head slightly to the right. Albeit, okay, maybe just more than slightly to the right, you're going to see the Gorgie fish bar. You tell me a better chippy on the fucking planet. Never mind Gorgie, the entire world, is there a better chippy? There ain't, sunshine.
The other thing as well that you've got to remember is if you walk into a pub and it has those fucking stupid Six Nation flag hangs out.
That would trigger you.
Not for me. Not for me. I'm not.
To be
here
honest,
to drink
you're right there.
IPA.
Yeah.
I don't want an IPA. I don't want to hear about vegans. I want boys doing naughty things in the toilet and singing naughty songs. That's what I want, and this is not the establishment for me. Goodbye. 6. It gets a 6 in the Gorgie.
Yes.
Because you've upset me. I remembered that it's too close to the rugby stadium. There you go. There you go. So it gets a 6. It's a 6 on that.
To be honest, I wish I'd got in sooner. I would have went with Stratties as well. Gutted.
Fuck you, Tam.
Has anyone been chucked out of here though?
No, I've never been
a European night, but everybody got kicked out, and it was because there was too much singing and jumping on the tables. Everybody
it does deserve a 6 then. Get that to fuck.
Everybody got kicked out. And the fact that even had tables, that takes points off it too. That's not what we're looking for in a pub. Pre-match, you don't want comfortable seats in a table. That's not any good to anybody.
Tam, I'm surprised. I don't. Well, I'm not going to give the game away here, but there was a pub that everybody has missed so far. So I'm hopeful. I've got my fingers crossed that one of you boys picks this pub next week, because it's an absolute belter. And I swithered between Stratties or this place, and no one said it. I thought you were going to go for it this week, Tam. It's not the Tiny Arms either.
To get through.
This one's very special.
Before we even start going into pubs that are no longer there, or pubs that turned into bar grills, for example, we can go into all of them. Right, let's tie it up with Noah's By Our Noise. Basically, for anybody that doesn't listen to the podcast or watch, Kev is going to give us 3 iconic Hearts goals, but he's going to give us his own commentary, but he's going to leave out all of the important details, and we've got to try and figure out, based on the descriptions, what the goal was. So Kev, what you got for us this week?
I've got what I would class as an absolute legend of a goal. A good bit of tactical wizardry would maybe be the way of looking at it. And then I think everybody needs an absolute belter when they are doing this particular feature. So that's what I've got. So, goal number 1. The opponents are taking a throw-in down by the away end, but it is intercepted by our big bulldog just outside our own box. Plays out to our left-footed wonder, who plays a one pass to the winger. The wee bastard takes it past a couple of defenders before whipping in a very deep cross. So deep that the keeper is rooted to his line. The big podcast Bam up front drills in a brilliant header to the front post area where it bounced off the keeper and into the net. The Bam turns, clearly buzzing to have put his team 1-up with only 5 minutes left to play, and celebrates with his teammates and the fans in the stand. The camera pans round to the Hearts staff manager, who's also celebrating with the fans behind the dugout. So that would be goal number 1.
I tell you what, you're no Jock Brown, are you? But never mind.
Well, I know who it is.
I think I've got it.
We're going to wait for them all. We go around the tables to see if we can get who's got it right.
I'm fucking nowhere, so skip me.
Right, Shanks, say what you're thinking.
Can I just chip in and say, you know, in Chewing the Fat, where you've got the news reporter, where they're standing outside the court, and said Dafty then leathered the brick off the window. That was you there. Was that Wayne Foster?
No, that wasn't.
No. The famous podcaster Wayne Foster.
I've still no idea how this feature works.
Brad, what's your answer?
I've got Steve V Hibs.
Let's go for it.
What?
Tam?
It's Kevin Kyle v Hibs.
It's Kevin Kyle v Hibs.
Kevin Kyle v Hibs.
I
think it was the 2nd of January, or even maybe the 1st of January.
Just where it snuck in, just inside the post, only just.
So
Jeffrey's jumped into the crowd and that. And...
Bastard.
Goal number 2 is a little bit tougher. However, here we go.
Shanks, do you want to interpret for the Neds like they used to have with
Clever. Go and fuck yourself. Carry on.
The attack breaks down, but the creative forward tracks back, getting a toe on a tackle and winning the ball back. A couple of quick passes are made before the creative forward bears down on the opponent's box. He dinks between a couple of defenders before dropping a shoulder and pushing the ball onto his right foot, where he bends one round the keeper and into the net. He's just saved a point in the game for his team and possibly conceded a penalty just minutes before. Any ideas? A little bit tougher for you. Had to be there, I guess.
It's a John Cahoon goal. But I don't know why. No, oh well.
Go for it again.
For fuck's sake, Tom. The attack breaks down, but the creative forward tracks back, getting a toe on a tackle and winning the ball back. A couple of quick passes are made before the creative forward bears down on his opponent's box, dinking between a couple of defenders before dropping a shoulder and pushing the ball onto his right foot, where he bends one round the keeper and into the net. He's just saved a point in the game and possibly redeemed conceding the penalty only minutes before.
Oh, I know what goal it is now.
Oh, Shanks has got it. Shanks has got his hand up. Go on then, Shanks, tell us who it is.
No, sorry, I was just going to interpret for the Neds.
All right,
okay. Kev, is it Jamie Walker against Partick Thistle?
It is, you're right. It is Jamie Walker versus Partick Thistle. And a side note, when Jamie Walker came back for Wigan, I put that down as his best goal for Hearts in his first time at the club.
How the fuck did you get that, Corbett? Holy shit!
You gave away the penalty.
Remember,
I've used that before. Maybe I used it as my Gorgie boys thing. Is that for unexpected limbs? That was an unbelievable away day. That was the day that we invented the. Oh, Danny Wilson, he is a captain. He plays for Hearts. A 15-point deduction. That's what it was like for 90 minutes. Honestly, that's what it was like for 90 minutes. All people knew was that, oh, Danny Wilson, he is a leader, or something, he is a captain. And then the rest, it was just, hey, baby, 15-point deduction, but the Hearts are staying up. Oh, Danny Wilson. And then, Jamie Walker gave away the penalty. It was never a penalty. And about 5 minutes later, beat a couple and smashed one out of top bag.
For all Corbett acts kind of cool and casual, we know for a fact that he's watched all 50 of Jamie Walker's goals this week in his full Hearts kit. Like socks on and boots on as well.
Chugging it.
Just watch your way.
To be fair, annoyingly, I did see that goal in that video this week.
Doing the cup final cheer every time he sees a goal. Yeah! Boo!
When I'm bored, I get Alana to put that on the big telly. Just fade 1901 all the way up, and I go.
Well, that, as I say, that was the goal that I said was Jamie's best goal when he returned back, and I won his signed shirt. So the shirt that was actually used when he was getting all his photographs taken.
Will he sign my pack lunchbox?
I'll get him to sign your pack lunchbox, mate. No problem.
How many times? How many times have you rubbed it over your balls?
It's actually in a frame in my nephew's wall, mate. So, aye.
You never told us that, Kev.
Aye, well, there you go.
We'll
like
put
that
that
at
on
this age.
socials.
I'm not buying that. It's no under a frame. He makes Mrs. Kev wear that every single weekend of their life.
Yeah, how much can Kev no wait till this feature's finished, eh?
I can't slag anybody. I used to make wear that all the time.
In the centre.
just for. Right, number 3, let's get out of here.
So, number 3, the game's tight. The opponents have got themselves back into the game, but are now down to 10 men. The tricky wee winger cuts in from the line, playing a ball towards the edge of the box. That pass is then played out wide while the tricky winger continues his run, but the cross is played in behind him. Not to worry, the other winger has come in field. Will he take a touch? No, he has it first time, smashing the ball high into the top corner from the edge of the box. A goal worthy enough to win any match.
Scatchel.
No, Miko.
Miko.
Done, Brads.
Boxing Day.
Yeah, it was Miko's winner in the 3-2 game in which Dean Shields had been sent off just only a matter of minutes earlier. So yes, well done. So that's the 3 goals for the day, for this week.
How shite is this, man?
That was a brilliant derby. Boxing Day. Absolutely mad with it. Did you get nothing?
Nothing. 3 fucking zeros. Look at that. Pish. I'm just not very good.
Next week.
I'm not very good at this, man.
I'd love
No,
to
you only managed to do 1 when you were meant to do 3 as well.
I know.
You really messed this up, eh?
Did you get my one time? No, you didn't. So you shut your dirty whore face.
You'll get better. We'll get better. We're working these out. Right. Well, like we said, we will have live match reaction to whatever happens on Friday night against Kelly Thistle. Hopefully, we're talking about a Hearts win because we need one.
Let's just be clear here. Corbett, Kev, and Ando will be on come hell or high water. Tam will shite it if we get beat. And
I'd just like to apologise in advance, to be honest.
fair enough. And Brads and Shanks, it's anyone's guess.
Well, I'm going to plan on not being scuttled. I'm going to put a shirt and a tie on, and I'm going to make an effort. So fuck you.
Well, we'll see you Friday.
What's in the bottom half?
Nothing.
Pants.
Fuck all.
Pause in a
Pants.
frame.
As in pants.
So, Jen, you hear that? Alexa just said to me, "Sorry, I don't know that." And on that note, let's go. Right. Thanks for listening. See you all next week.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See you later,
Cheers.
boys.
Friday.
Gorgie. Bye.